Welcome to Travel Top 10s. Today we will be exploring my list of the top 10 castles in Britain, Part 1. I will be providing the location, a brief history, and some facts of the castles I'm covering over the course of this series. Windsor Castle, Berkshire. Windsor Castle is a royal residence at Windsor in the English county of Berkshire. It is strongly associated with the English and later the British royal family, and embodies almost a millennium of architectural history. The original castle was built in the 11th century after the Norman invasion of England by William the Conqueror, and since the time of Henry I, who reigned 1100 to 1135, it has been used by the reigning monarch, making it the longest occupied palace in Europe. Originally designed to protect Norman dominance around the outskirts of London and oversee a strategically important part of the River Thames, Windsor Castle was built as a motte and bailey with 3 wards surrounding a central mound. Windsor Castle grounds cover 13 acres and combines the features of a fortification, a palace, and a small town. The present-day castle was created during a sequence of phased building projects, culminating in the reconstruction work after a fire in 1992. Windsor Castle, part of the occupied Royal Palace's estate, is owned by Charles III in right of the Crown, and day-to-day management is by the royal household. As of 2006, around 500 people lived and worked in the castle. Elizabeth II had increasingly used the castle as a royal palace, as well as her weekend home before her death in 2022. In recent years, Windsor Castle has hosted visits from President Mbeki of South Africa, King Abdullah II of Jordan, and Presidents Obama, Trump, and Biden of the United States. With its extensive size, priceless art and artifacts, history, and sprawling gardens, it is one of the best castles in Britain to visit. Alnwick Castle, Northumberland. Alnwick Castle is a castle and country house in Alnwick, in the English county of Northumberland. It is the seat of the 12th Duke of Northumberland, and was originally built following the Norman conquest, though it has since been renovated and remodelled several times. It is a Grade 1 listed building now, the home of Ralph Percy, 12th Duke of Northumberland, and his family. The castle receives over 600,000 visitors per year, when combined with the adjacent attraction, the Alnwick Garden. The current Duke and his family live in the castle, but occupy only a part of it. The castle is open to the public throughout the summer. After Windsor Castle, it is the second largest inhabited castle and the 10th most visited stately home in England. Alnwick Castle has also been frequently used as a location for filming. Films shot at the castle include Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, 1991, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, 2001, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, 2002, Transformers, The Last Knight, 2017, and Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, 2023. Television programs shot at the castle include The Black Adder, 1983, Robin of Sherwood, 1984-86, Antiques Roadshow, 1995, and Downton Abbey, 2015-16. Arundel Castle, West Sussex. Arundel Castle is a restored and remodelled medieval castle in Arundel, West Sussex, England. It was established by Roger de Montgomery in the 11th century. The castle was damaged in the English Civil War and then restored in the 18th and early 19th centuries by Charles Howard, 11th Duke of Norfolk. Since the 11th century, the castle has been the seat of the Earls of Arundel and the Dukes of Norfolk. It is a Grade 1 listed building. The original structure was a motte and bailey castle. Roger de Montgomery was declared the first Earl of Arundel, as the king granted him the property as part of a much larger package of hundreds of manors. Roger, who was a cousin of William the Conqueror, had stayed in Normandy to keep the peace there, while William was away in England. For his loyalty, he was rewarded with extensive lands in the Welsh Marches and across the country together with 1/5 of Sussex. Work began on the construction of the castle in around 1967. Arundel Castle has been used as a filming location for several television and film productions. The BBC filmed extensively at the castle and its grounds in 1988 for the series Doctor Who: The Silver Nemesis, where it doubled for Windsor Castle. It also doubled for Windsor Castle in the 1994 film The Madness of King George. Arundel Castle was also a location for the 2009 film The Young Victoria and the 2017 film Wonder Woman. Bodiam Castle, East Sussex. Bodiam Castle is a 14th century moated castle near Robertsbridge in East Sussex, England. It was built in 1385 by Sir Edward Dalingrige, a former knight of Edward III, to defend the area against French invasion during the 100 Years' War. However, some historians believe the location was more likely chosen for aesthetics, as the location of the castle is too far from the medieval coastline to provide a proper defence. Its structure and details also support this theory. Of quadrangular plan, Bodiam Castle has no keep, having its various chambers built around the outer defensive walls and inner courts. Its corners and entrance are marked by towers and topped by crenellations. This type of castle, with a central courtyard and buildings against the curtain wall, was characteristic of castle architecture in the 14th century. Bodiam Castle is the most complete surviving example of a quadrangular castle in Britain. Corfe Castle, Dorset. Corfe Castle is a fortification standing above the village of the same name on the Isle of Purbeck Peninsula in the English county of Dorset. It was built by William the Conqueror and dates back to the 11th century. It commands a gap in the Purbeck Hills, on the route between Wareham and Swanage. Corfe Castle was built on a steep hill, in a gap in a long line of chalk hills, created by two streams eroding the rock on either side. The name Corfe derives from the Old English Ceorfan, meaning a cutting, referring to the gap. A castle was founded at Corfe, on England's south coast, soon after the Norman conquest of England in 1066. The Royal Forest of Purbeck, where William the Conqueror enjoyed hunting, was established in the area. Between 1066 and 1087, William established 36 such castles in England. The castle stood 21 tall atop a 55 high hill. The castle stood 21 tall atop a 55 high hill. Sitting as it does on a hilltop, Corfe Castle is one of the classic images of a medieval castle. However, despite popular imagination, occupying the highest point in the landscape was not the typical position of a medieval castle. In England, a minority are located on hilltops, whereas most are situated in valleys near important transport routes such as river crossings. This was one of the earliest castles in England to be built at least partly using stone when the majority were built with earth and timber. However, Corfe Castle underwent major structural changes in the 12th and 13th centuries. The castle is a Grade I listed building and is recognised as an internationally important structure. Corfe Castle is the National Trust's 10th most visited historic property in England, with around 260,000 visitors per year. Which castle would you like to visit first? Do you have any favourites that we have not covered in this video? Please let us know in the comment section below and share your reasons. Your insights and experiences can inspire fellow history enthusiasts and help others plan their visits. If you enjoyed part 1 of this tour through Britain's 10 best castles, then please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more top 10 travel destinations around the UK and the world. Your support helps us create more engaging content. Please join us for part 2.